So today was a protest at the office of Minister Arif Arani, who is the Minister of Justice and the Attorney General for Canada.
What do we want? When do we want it? Now!
And the protest was to condemn the actions of our government, which have been in complete and explicit support of the Israeli crimes that are taking place in Gaza. So Israel as an occupying power, while Israel states that as of 2006 they no longer occupied the territory, the truth of it is they continued to occupy by controlling all entry in, all movement in and out of the territory, all resources that come in and out of the territory, such that they continue to be an occupying power. And the proof of that is that when they decided on October 7 to stop delivering food, water, and fuel, they could essentially do so by flicking a switch. While the Israeli government says that the sole goal of this project is to eradicate Hamas, it's very clear that that's not the case, that Hamas is being used as an excuse, and that they are using this particular situation to displace hundreds of thousands of families and people from their homes. They have told people to move from the north to the south of Gaza, which is forced displacement. They are also now dropping leaflets in the south of Gaza, as of today, telling people to move from the south of Gaza, which leaves them no place to go to. And when they are being displaced, there's no safe place for them to go, and there are no conditions or protections for people who can't move themselves. There are no bomb shelters in Gaza, and even the places where people are choosing to shelter, like hospitals and schools, are being brutally bombed by the Israeli Air Force. Yeah, I mean, there's been a real candor in terms of the Israeli leadership, in terms of what their goals are. They demonize the Palestinian people, calling them human animals, children of darkness. Those statements are repeated over and over and over again in public media settings. And to the point where genocide scholars have said, including Israeli genocide scholars, have said the case is very clear, that there is clear intent of genocide. And often that part is very difficult to make out when one is trying to determine whether it meets the legal definition of genocide. But in this case, the intent is extremely clear, as well as the follow-through, the actions which are to forcibly displace people and then bomb indiscriminately, such that well over 11,000 are dead and thousands are under the rubble. In fact, the numbers aren't even accurate because nobody can go back and check.
My name's Atia. I participated in an occupation of MP Varani's office 2 weeks ago. Still haven't heard back about booking a meeting with him. We represent a group of his constituents calling for his urgent action and demanding a ceasefire as we continue to see the death toll of Palestinians grow in this ongoing genocide. Today I was speaking because this is a movement we see growing across the city, across the country, across the world, and we are calling on our leaders to be accountable. If they are not accountable, if they refuse to be accountable, we are going to keep showing up and demonstrating that we too have power. So 2 weeks ago, I was arrested. I was forcibly removed from this office, and I am willing to do whatever it takes to show up for the Palestinian struggle for liberation. Palestinian people have risked far more for far many years.
Julie had a series of town halls earlier this week in response to the hundreds of phone calls that she's gotten from Davenport residents. She purportedly was taking questions from the community, but was in fact really evading actual accountability and refusing to answer with any kind of transparency or clarity or backbone. And I had asked her how she could be greenlighting genocide under the guise of self-defense, given the kind of mass murder of civilians that we're seeing play out in Gaza. And she did this bizarre backpedaling thing where she said that she actually had not said that Israel had a right to self-defense, even though she truly, literally just had, and then in fact backtracked and said she said that Israel had a right to defend itself.
In terms of self-defense, I don't think in any way have I said that Israel has a right to self-defend. I said that they have a right to... Well, I did say that actually, that they have a right to defend themselves. I wouldn't call it self-defense, but I said they have a right to defend themselves.
Julie has been hiding from her constituents. I was here yesterday to visit. She refused to come speak to us.
Who was here, not here, who was at Arif Varani's office just further on Bloor this morning?
Woo! Yeah.
Woo! A bunch of people here. I want to just tell you a little bit about that. This is one riding over from us, right? And our neighbors there gathered hundreds strong on basically no notice at 8:30 a.m. morning to do the same thing we're doing here, because this is happening everywhere, but we also did one other thing. We delivered a notice, a legal notice. We served him papers with the intention to prosecute him, Justin Trudeau, and 2 other ministers for complicity in Israeli war crimes. This is a real legal case. This is not a scout. These cases take time, but this is one way that we're bringing the fight to the courts. We're keeping the fight on the streets. My friends took the fight inside Julie's office multiple times in the past few weeks. So I ask you, are we going to keep showing up on the streets? Yeah! Are we going to keep blocking business as usual until there's a ceasefire? Yeah! And when Julie finally comes around and declares that yes, she finally supports a ceasefire, are we going to keep demanding that Canada actually acts? Yeah! That Canada stops exporting weapons to Israel? Yeah! That Canada ends all financial support, all trade deals, that we end our support of Israeli war crimes. Are you with me?